Hi everyone, good afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from. It's 3 minutes past 3 o'clock here in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. I'm connecting with you from my home here in Leiden. I'm Kenneth Muyingo, and I am going to be your host for this afternoon for this UCN Connect with Khan, and I have a wonderful guest with me in studio ready to have a wonderful conversation with you all. But I hope you are well and that life is good. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm curious. I would like to keep this conversation going so that I know that I'm not talking to myself. Let me know. I am connecting from the Netherlands here in Leiden, actually, to be more precise. Let me know in the comment section where you're joining us from. If you have a comment or question during our broadcast, please feel free to engage with us in the comment section where you're watching from, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook. We'll be able to pick up your comments and bring them into the studio here and engage with you. But I bring you greetings from the leadership team of the Ugandan community here in the Netherlands. Sarah says she's connecting from Utrecht. I really appreciate that, Sarah. Thank you so much. And I hope all is well in Utrecht. I bring you greetings from the leadership team of the Ugandan community in the Netherlands and from the Career Advancement Network. I hope all is well and that life is good. If you've been able to achieve the things that you set out to go after this year, 2026, we're in March already. Q1 is coming to an end. We congratulate you. And if you have not yet achieved what you set out to achieve, keep striving because the future is bright and there is still time for us to be able to get to the things that we have decided to go after. And with that said, I would like to just bring in our guest into the studio and then we start the conversation.
Hello. Hi, Kenneth. Hi, everybody who's online. Good to be here.
And then so good to have you here as well. Thank you so much for making time out of your busy schedule to be here with us.
I would not have missed it. Thanks for having me, Kenneth.
And then it's a pleasure. And maybe just for purposes of maybe someone who's watching and seeing you for the first time, could you just take a moment to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I think before I start introducing myself, I just want to thank God for enabling all of us to just be here, to be present, and to take time off our busy schedules to be here. Then about myself, I will start by saying I am a mom. So I'm Fatuma Munir. I'm a mom. That is the most important job I have in this world because it's 24/7. I'm a wife and currently working as regional marketing manager for Axe Nobel in the yacht coatings business for Europe and Asia Pacific.
Wow.
And one thing about me, from a career perspective, I love to build brands, global brands, and really brands that drive commercial impact through strategy, market expansion, and cross-functional execution. So I love to work with all sorts of people from all walks of lives. I also love to cook on a personal basis. So literally today I have people coming over for iftar. So it's so I love to cook. And then of course spending time with family, friends, traveling. As well as I do tend to work out now and again. If I can squeeze in a workout, I'll do it. That's about me.
Amazing. Quite a profile. I mean, I'm just humbled. How do you do it? And I mean, we're going to get into this, I think, somewhere during the interview, but the podcast. But I mean, you're doing all these things. It's like you're juggling 8 balls in the air, and you're making it just look all so effortless, it's flawless. Just maybe if we could just take it back a bit before the Netherlands. Maybe let's just take it to the beginning. I think that's the best way for us to. How would you describe your childhood experience in Uganda?
Whew. Yeah, that's of course that's a while ago, right? I'm born and raised in Uganda. I grew up in a family, an Islamic cultured family, but also yeah, a mixed race family. So you have a. I like to think I'm from the United Nations in a way, just because of all the mix of blood that runs through my veins. My mom is half Italian, half black. My dad is half Indian, and I think Iraqi at this point. Um, and born and raised in Uganda, I feel I'm Ugandan, right? And I will always be Ugandan. My childhood was surrounded by parents who worked so hard. So both my parents, so my dad died when I was 4, my mom remarried when I was around 8, and her and my stepfather ran multiple businesses. My God, they did. They had a wholesale business, they had a retail business, so wholesale selling like rice and stuff like that. They had retail business at one point. They went into motels, so they had multiple motels in Kampala. Then they went into chicken, and I remember even at one point you would go to the farm, we would get the chicken, we would help, we would be part of it. And then also the shops, we would be present, we would go and work during our holidays and be part of those experiences with them. The motels, then they went into juice making for a while. Then after that, they're now doing secondhand clothing business. So they sell in bulk. So growing up, I grew up with parents who worked. And even if the business did not go so well, they never stopped, right? So you always have the ups and downs. It's the fact that they picked themselves up and started and reinvented something new. So you are always surrounded by entrepreneurship, right? My mom did not go to school, so she stopped. I think P3. P3 is about what, group 2, group 3 in the Netherlands, so a very, very low level. But she speaks fluent English. It's amazing. My stepdad went up to completed high school and then worked in spine school. So you could see that nothing is too big, right? You can do it. You just have to have the determination. You have to have the resilience, and you keep going. And I think those are the foundations that I was raised in, and that I keep having and taking with me wherever I go.
And then, I mean, this is good. No wonder you're doing all the things you're doing. It's quite impressive. But just looking back on the family dynamics, you mentioned your father passing away when you were quite young, 3 years, and then your stepdad coming into the picture, and the family dynamics. Growing up, what role did family play in shaping your ambition into the person that you are today?
I think a lot of things. One is discipline. My dad was tough growing up. He was not an easy person. I mean, he took over 5 kids that were not his. So kudos to that man for raising all of us. But there was always discipline. No matter what, you always had to get up early in the morning and you had to start working. At one point it's very common in Africa to have help. So at one point you had help. But the help was the auntie. You did everything. The auntie was there to just basically tell you what to do and make sure you do it. But we had to get up in the morning when you didn't have school and you start doing your chores, and then you go in and we like keeping ourselves busy. There was no room. If he came home and something was wrong, you're gonna get disciplined in a way. So it was really like you had to have the discipline, you had to be respectful, and he would spend time as well with us asking, what do you want to become? you want to be. So he had his moments, not every time because they were really busy. They would get up in the morning and come back at midnight sometimes. So you barely saw them. But when you did, they did take a moment to actually try and talk to you now and again. So for me, it was be who you are. That was one thing they told me.
Yeah.
Always be authentic, no matter where you go. This is who you are. You can't change that. Your
Yeah.
life, your path, the struggles you've gone through do make who you are. So I am very proud from where I come from. I am very proud for my background. I would not change a thing about my life.
Yeah. Wow. Absolutely amazing. And looking back on those formative years, the dynamics that you mentioned, there's a lot of discipline. I think religion was also a very strong pillar. And the way you were raised and the culture dynamics and the complexities of different backgrounds. Is there a specific experience that you can look back to and uh, share about something that actually, uh, if I could call it a specific moment that made you realize that you wanted something more than what you were actually being presented with?
Yeah, for sure. Um, at around 18, so I had just finished my high school. So I went to public schools, right? So I went to Chagwa Road Public School. I went to, Nachibugro, and then I went to Mariam High after that for my high school. So it's an Islamic girls only school. And then at around, so I'd finished my high school, applying to university. And at that time, there was a marriage proposal, right? And this, if I tell you how this marriage proposal happened,
Yes, please.
you won't even believe it.
Go on.
So you know how you grow up, and there's weddings. We love weddings.
Yeah.
It's very normal. Majority of Ugandans, not only my culture, but majority of us love parties, love weddings, and all of these celebrations.
Oh, yes.
So growing up, we used to go to weddings. But when you're younger, you're having fun, and even you could do something part of the wedding. You get some money, you get celebrated, and all of these things.
Yeah.
Then at 18, it changes. It's no
Yeah.
longer about partying. It's the aunties in the background doing matchmaking, right? So I think 18, I went to a wedding, was around Ginger. Was a beautiful wedding, but I did not know what was happening in the back end. So here I am. I had already actually started at MOOBS University, and I think I was 3 months in or 4 months in. And then there was a marriage proposal, right? So my parents, someone came and basically said they wanted my hand in marriage. My father said yes before asking me what I thought. So, and then basically I received a phone call, and I remember I was on a border B. I will never forget this moment because it was such a massive moment in my life,
Yeah.
because I had spent time with my parents. They knew I wanted to study. They knew I always wanted to, go ahead, my career. I wanted to be somebody. And then for a marriage proposal to come in, it's like bombshell, right? So I'm about to be, I receive a phone call, and my mom is telling me, oh yeah, there's this guy who wants to marry you. You need to say yes. And he lives in the UK. And I said, what? And I said, no, immediately. It didn't take me a second. And I just said, no. And then my dad was like, you cannot say no. You're going to have to say yes. And it was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was really, really a big deal, because for him, and you have to see it from his angle, right? He had raised us, he had educated us, and now he wanted to make sure we were in good marriages and with good partners. That is his culture, right?
Yeah.
So he's Indian. That is how it is.
Yeah.
And he, in his eyes, he was doing what's best for me.
Yeah.
But in my eyes was like, no way, I am 18. I do not want to get married. I am not going to get married. And I don't even know this person that I'm supposed to get married to, right? So I said no. But I was very lucky that when this happened,
Yeah.
I was staying with my aunties,
Yeah.
because it was like I had moved in with my aunties at that time. So I wasn't staying with my parents, I was staying with my aunties at that time. And my aunties were traveled, educated, had lived and worked in the US. So one of them had just come back to Uganda. I think it was like 2 years she was coming settled back in Uganda.
Yeah.
And we were talking. I spent so much time with them whereby they would tell me, what do you want? You know, there's a lot more out there. You could go abroad. So they had started instilling the ideas of going abroad in my
Yeah.
mind. Whether
Yeah.
I believed it will happen or not, I started wanting more. So when the marriage proposal came, even if
Yeah.
the guy was in the UK, it didn't matter because I knew I wanted to go abroad, right?
Yeah.
And we had actually started applying to universities. We had applied to universities here in the Netherlands, um, I think 4 universities at the time.
Yeah.
And the thing is, even for my aunties, for them, my parents did not know. They had no clue this was happening, right? We didn't want to tell them unless we were sure that I would be going to university. So
Yeah.
it was all me, my aunties, and my uncles in the Netherlands basically trying to see how I get out of Uganda and go and study abroad.
Yeah.
And the idea for my aunties was like, you can go abroad, but your parents will never let you go abroad as a girl on your own. I mean, we're raised in an Islamic culture, but also our own culture. A girl needs support and guidance, so they will never send you off, right? And I could only go abroad if I went to live with family. So I
Mm-hmm.
was very fortunate that my uncle in the Netherlands basically said, yeah, if she gets through, she can come and stay with us. And so we started applying because the Netherlands was also cheaper compared to the US. We have family there. UK, we also have my auntie there. And I could not go there because tuition was, I think, 3, 4 times more than the Netherlands at the time.
Yeah.
So we applied. The process was long. So this whole marriage proposal was happening when I had started my process of coming abroad. So I already had something I wanted, right? And I
You're already
wanted
working on it behind the scenes, and your dad doesn't know.
nothing, not my dad, not my mom. They had no clue. So for them, in their perspective, was if she gets married, she gets the opportunity to also go abroad. She will have a good life, a better life, right? So that's how you have to see it. They wanted the very best for me.
Oh
But then
yeah.
I was doing this whole thing on the side. And even when I said no, I never told them that I was applying to go abroad. I never did. It was never discussed. I just said no.
Yeah.
And it was tough. It was really tough because I remember my dad was so pissed that he was like, if you say no, my daughter, you're not gonna come home anymore. So yeah. It was really, really tough having to go through that. But
Yeah.
I was home with my aunties. So for me, it was still okay. I was home, right?
Yeah.
It was sad that I could not see my dad or my mom for a while. I think it took about a month or two
Mm-hmm.
that there was really no communication.
Yeah.
And then surprisingly, everything has its own right timing, right place, Kenneth. I got the approval from school that I had been accepted into university and I could join. And this was around, I think, beginning of August.
Yeah.
Then they said basically I would need to wait a few more days or weeks and then go to the embassy to pick up my visa.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's when I told my parents
Uh-huh.
that I have been accepted and everything was okay, and I was going to go abroad. They were super surprised that, and my dad, even if he was angry because I had said no, I had disrespected him,
Yeah.
right? And you don't not do that.
Yeah.
And he was really angry, but at that moment, I think he also came to his senses. So there's a lot of things were happening honestly at the same time, because even my dad, when I proposed, because my aunties proposed to buy us some time, they basically said, tell the guy she's at uni now that she will accept a proposal,
Yeah.
like an engagement, and if it goes well, after they will get married after she's finished uni.
University, yeah.
So this was a way for us to buy time,
My
because
time.
my aunties were thinking maybe this whole school studying abroad will work, right?
Uh-huh.
And my dad then approached the family and proposed that, she's at school, she wants to finish school, is it okay we do an engagement now and we commit to that, and then later, and the family basically said no. And I
Wow.
think 3 weeks later they married somebody else, and then my dad realized that maybe wasn't the best for me, that whatever they thought, because at that time they said they wanted me specifically, but then my dad realized no, it had nothing to do with me. They were just trying to find a good wife for their
Yeah.
son.
It didn't matter who, just they
It
just
didn't
wanted.
matter who, it wasn't about me, right? So then my dad was like, maybe it's not best for her, but he could, the pride, he could never come and tell me this, right? So even
Yeah.
if this was happening and the marriage proposal had fallen off,
Yeah.
um, he could never talk about it, right? Until I got to tell them that I got the application. I've been applying. I got accepted. I was gonna go abroad, and everything
And
changed.
also that you're going to be living with your uncle. So like all the boxes were ticked. And
Everything changed. My parents came from being angry and disappointed in me to actually being grateful that this is what happened and this is the path that I was going to take,
yeah,
and really proud. My dad could not be more proud of me now than
yeah.
anything. Absolutely not. He
Wow.
respects me, he values who I am, and we have a wonderful relationship with my
Yeah.
parents. So, yeah.
So I mean, at this point now, the the invitation has come for the university, and you are on your way to the Netherlands. You came through Schiphol, right?
No, no,
No.
I came
Okay.
through Düsseldorf.
Okay. Interesting. So maybe you can just tell us about that first experience, the culture.
Oh,
What was when you first moved, when you first arrived? How was that?
I think before even arriving, right? So I flew by myself for the first time in the flight. And
Yeah,
I'm not embarrassed to say I was among the people who throw up in the flight. Like literally,
yeah,
my first experience wasn't great. I was anxious, I was nervous. I was traveling by myself because my uncle's family were waiting for me. So I was really, really anxious. I had never been on a flight.
yeah.
And then I landed at the airport. It was all okay, right? They ask you questions, you answer. They asked me why I went through Germany and not through, Schiphol.
Yeah.
Basically said, well, uh, it's mainly because of the fact that I was going to Venlo. So
Yeah,
my uncle lives around Venlo. So it
yeah.
would make
It
sense
was
that the
easier.
flight, yeah, it's easier. So then they were like, who's picking you up? I told them, and it was all okay, right? So you go through the security and you're out. Everything was different. I don't know, people who have traveled the first time probably experienced what I experienced. It's the shock of your life. You've been in Uganda all your life, you've never been abroad.
Yeah,
The best you've been is probably Kenya, and Kenya and Uganda are not that much different,
yeah,
right? So it was I was shocked. I was in shock, my whole body, everything. And then I come into this culture that I had not read about meanwhile. So
yeah,
while I read about school, while I read about my university, the programs they offered, and how it would be, and every detail of my school, I did not think to read about the country I was going into. I think somehow I felt like I'm going to see my uncle. It's home. It's okay, right? I did not prepare. I did not prepare myself. And I think if I have to tell anybody now, I would say preparation is key. No matter what you do, whether it's a job interview, whether it's an exam, whether it's having guests over, you need to prep. You
Yeah.
need to prepare beforehand. I did not prepare myself for the Netherlands. I did not read about the culture. I did not read about anything about Dutch people. I mean, I
Yeah.
come into a society whereby first they're cycling on the streets. That was a shocker for me.
But you could cycle yourself, right?
I could cycle, but I never cycled on the streets, right?
Yeah,
With cars.
exactly.
The first time I attempted, I actually fell off because someone hooted the car and I fell off my bike and got blisters. And I now cycle with I can easily put on my Oma Fit, I can easily put, like two kids or three kids plus
Yeah.
shopping. Like I am off.
And just go like nothing is happening. Yeah.
Exactly. But my first experience,
Yeah.
I fell, got blisters. I was grateful that my cousin's grandfather
Yeah.
took time to actually teach me how to say left, right, and all of these things. So they helped me. They helped really integrate me into the society.
Oh, yeah.
But to be honest, I think a couple of things when it comes to culture, right? So there was the cycling, there is the dinner at 6 and one meal a day. We have
Yeah.
dinner 3 times in Uganda. So you have
Yeah.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner is at 9. And here we are having dinner at 6.
Yeah.
And then, okay, my when you went, so my uncle was very different. He was still very Ugandan in a way at home, right, with food and stuff like that. But whenever we went to different Dutch families, everything was counted. Potatoes
Yeah.
was counted, meat was counted, all of these things was counted. And I like back
They're like,
home,
what's going on?
food,
Yeah.
whether you have enough or not, food you don't count. You
You don't
cook
count.
as
You just eat.
much.
Yeah.
Yes. If you have people over, you cook as if you're cooking for 20 people. If you have
Exactly.
leftovers, people can take leftovers. It's okay. That is how we grew up. And then
Yeah.
here we are, whereby they need to count exactly how many people are there and how much each person will eat. So if you want more, you're not getting more because it's already gone.
Exactly.
So this is how I came into the Netherlands, and I was so shocked.
Yeah.
And then there is the directness. There is the eye contact.
Uh-huh.
Kenneth, I don't know how you grew up, but to be honest, I grew up, you don't look elders in the eyes.
Yeah.
You really bowed down every
Yeah.
single time
Yeah.
because looking them in the eyes,
Disrespect.
you were disrespectful and all of these things. And then here we are, whereby it's the opposite. You don't look them in the eyes, you are disrespectful, and you were considered like somebody who's not paying attention. So adapting to all of those things took
Yeah.
me a while. And I
Uh-huh.
think, to be honest, for anyone coming into a new country, a new society, pace yourself,
Yeah.
right? You won't get it right all the time. You probably get it wrong a lot of times. The culture shock is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
It just means that you were changing, you were adapting,
Exactly.
and you are transforming into somebody else,
Else.
probably somebody better.
Yeah.
Culture experiences, I see them as something that just empower you,
And
so
then,
you are able to deal with multiple people from all walks of lives. All right.
and then,
So I think you need to accept it. And then the one thing I would give anyone younger, like right now, when it comes to culture, when you go to a country that doesn't speak your language, please learn their local language.
yeah.
I did not want to do that. I was so adamant on actually learning the language when
Yeah.
my uncle constantly said, Fatu, you need to learn the language. Fatu, you need to learn the language. You need to start adapting to this society. You need to stop calling your friends back home all the time because you're not settled. You
Yeah.
think you're here, one foot is in, one foot is out. You
Yeah.
need to focus. I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time, but eventually I had to accept it,
And
that I
then,
need to learn the language, that I need to put all my feet on the ground, and make the best of this country, you
Wow,
know. So
this is good. Just a moment. I'm really loving this. And our viewers, let us know in the comment section where you're connecting from. If you have a question or comment for Fatuma, you can just put it in the comment section, whether you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook, we'll be able to pick it up here in the studio. But Fatuma, this is really interesting. And thank you so much for just sharing this with us, because I believe it's going to be helpful for a lot of people. And just looking at your school experience, because now you're here, and so first you were stubborn about not learning the language, but eventually you make the decision to learn the language. And obviously you had come for school, and there was already arrangements that were prepared for you. Just tell us about your first Dutch educational experience, and when you compare with Uganda, maybe.
yeah, I think I want to ask the audience, to be honest, kind of, I really want to ask the audience who have been into African countries or born and raised as Africans or outside Europe or even South America, wherever. I just want to ask how they also feel about this, right? If they can also pitch in into their experience, because for me, in Uganda, public school, you sat like six people on a bench,
Yeah,
right? You were squeezing and you need to have your notebook and you need to write, right? You
yeah,
come into the Netherlands, there's one desk. Each
yeah,
person has their own desk. Like literally, that was for me, first of all,
yeah,
one of the things, right? So you have that. And then everybody has a laptop and an iPad. I did not have. I
yeah,
really did not have a laptop. I did not have an iPad. I think I came here 2009.
yeah,
I had used the laptop a little bit from my auntie,
yeah,
right? Not when I was with my parents, no. So then here I am coming into a country whereby everything is done online. You
yeah,
need to have your laptop and you need to be able to type fast. I did not type fast. I typed letter by letter and letter by letter. Okay, now I'm faster,
yeah,
but it took me so long to get there. So you are already at a disadvantage,
yeah,
right? Because the kids you go to school with are already advanced. They've been exposed to a lot of things at a young age, right? So they're going to be faster than you. They're going to be more expressive than you in all sorts of ways because of culture, how you were raised, and all of these things. But
yeah,
I think your uniqueness is not a disadvantage, right? Your
yeah,
experiences and the fact that maybe you don't know how to use a laptop or maybe you don't know how to type quite well should not be a blocker in your
yeah,
life. We
indeed.
all learn. You just have to take it to another level. You need to take the time to learn. You need to take the time to go through training, do trainings here like online or go to classes or all of these things to be better.
Indeed.
No one is perfect. So I took time and I would spend time just typing and typing and typing, getting a newspaper article and typing and typing and typing and typing. And now I am happy with where I am. And it's the same, it's the soft skills, right? So you need to take the time to learn the soft skills. You need to take the time to also learn the hard skills. But I
Indeed.
think bring in your perspective, bring in your uniqueness in a way that even if things will be different,
Yeah,
doesn't mean you won't excel, because I excelled in my bachelor's. I did quite well, right? So I worked really hard, but I did quite well even during
indeed.
my master's. So yeah, it's
Wow.
just prepare yourself to learn,
Indeed.
and be okay with it.
Yeah. Prepare yourself to learn and be okay with it. I love that. And l- looking back on the home experience, so if I could just call it finding home, at what point does the Netherlands stop feeling like a foreign country for you and it starts to feel like home?
I don't think, I mean, if I know that, I will let you know when that stops, because I don't think
Huh,
that I could feel 100% that the
Yeah.
Netherlands is home. I
Yeah.
think wherever you go, you will always pick something from there.
Yeah.
Something will stay with you,
Yeah.
right? The Netherlands is home for me, yes, but so is Uganda,
Yeah.
right? So if I'm here, and it's funny, right? Because when I'm here and I'm talking to Dutch people, sometimes you feel a little bit on the outs, right? And
Yeah.
that's why I think it's important to learn their language. You cannot want to be in their inner circle without actually fully understanding their language,
Yeah.
because they will change into English, and when they change into English, they will try to accommodate you,
Yeah.
but you'll be missing the inner scoop, right? And then
Yeah.
also people who go for coffee breaks, it's the coffee corner where things are happening, or people who are going
Exactly.
for cigarettes. It's where big decisions sometimes are made. It's funny. It's so I think I like to think that Uganda is my home, but the Netherlands is also my home.
Yeah.
That said, when I go to Uganda for holidays, and I love it, and I spend about 3 to 4 weeks, at one point you feel, I can't wait to get back to the Netherlands, which is funny
Yeah.
because in the Netherlands you are used to your own space, right? You
Yeah.
have your own space, you have your own thing, and then in Uganda you don't have that space anymore. So you
Yeah.
feel, and then when you come to the
Everybody's in your
Netherlands,
business and
everybody's in your business, exactly. And then when you come back to the Netherlands, you miss the element of everybody being in your business. So it's for me, I am still trying to figure out where
yeah,
home is. I think home is
I
where
can
my
relate
family
to that.
is. Really, home for me is where my family is where my husband and my kids are. Wherever we are, we will be okay, right? So even if we picked up and went to, I don't know, Asia or wherever, I know we will be okay because I will be with my family. So home is what you make it.
Yeah.
And just make the best of wherever you go, right?
Wow, this is good. And I mean, I want to switch up gears a bit and just get into career because I mean, we're talking about home, but this is, you're right here with a story that is relatable for many people who are born and raised in Uganda, but you are a regional manager for a very huge corporation, if I could say it like that, managing Europe and APAC. Just, I mean, just thinking about the magnitude of the work that you do, because I'm in corporate and I understand the weight of your role, but accessing opportunities, someone is maybe listening and thinking, okay, yeah, maybe I've settled for less, but for many experts, most especially women of color, sometimes the right doors feel locked. And how do you identify the right ones to walk through? And what was your way of doing whatever you did to be able to get to where you are?
After uni, sometimes, and I want to be really honest with the audience here, I tried to apply for jobs. So while I was doing my university, meanwhile, I was um, working as an au pair for a Dutch family. I
Uh-huh.
was cleaning houses. I
Uh-huh.
was working in a Chinese restaurant just to be able to pay for my school, right? So even if, like I mentioned, well, my parents were happy to support me, their businesses went up and down. Whenever they could afford, they would send money. Whenever they didn't afford, they would not. So I
Yeah.
had to work while studying and put myself out there. So
Yeah.
for me, there was no going back. For me, it was very clear I had to make it because my parents were also struggling, right? And I had to do whatever it takes to get to where I need to be. So then I took steps. And I was very fortunate. I think it's very important, even when you're praying or even when surround yourself with people who will be honest with you, people who like you,
Yeah.
people who give you favors.
Yeah.
So when I joined, and also it's okay even if they're not people from your background. I mean, most of my fellow Ugandans at that time, unfortunately, some of them would tell me, oh, maybe you should go back to Uganda. And it's not wrong, right? I think I could have taken that. Now that I'm here as a mom, I think, okay, I probably could go back to Uganda and I'll be fine, right? But remember at that time, I had left home. I needed to make it. I think I remember at one point I was telling my mom, it's so difficult. I think I'm going to come back. And she said, you're not welcome home. You have to try and make it. Whatever it is, you have to try and make it. So my parents have tough love. There was no soft love. So for me, it was like, either I make it or not, I am screwed. So I have to do whatever it takes. So while I was working as an au pair, this lady, wonderful woman, still, she's really now family to me. Honestly, she is part of my family. She connected me to an organization that is called Giving Back. It's in the Netherlands. They're all over the Randstad. Anybody in the Randstad area, a student, please sign up, go on their website, visit them, sign up to their programs. Their ambition is to connect students from minority backgrounds to corporations. And when they do this, what they do is also train you, mentor you. So they connect you to mentors in these multinational companies. You do projects for these multinational companies. So I did that for 2 years. It was almost like while I was doing my master's, being an au pair, I also did this program on the side.
Wow.
Right. And then also volunteering. I volunteered quite a lot. You need to network and you need to meet the right people. So if you don't go to places where you can find them, no one is going to find you. And your career, I think someone even told me this, your career is in your hands. Do not expect someone to come and save you because nobody's coming to save you. You need to take your own career into your hands and actually go after what you want. And that basically also means meeting the right people. Go out there, put yourself out there. They do have, like, I think multiple cities, like if I see here, even in The Hague or Leiden or Amsterdam, they have networking events that sometimes are organized even by Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You can find programs where they have like free workshop for anybody to sign up and attend. Go for it. You will meet people. Others have like expert mingle and mix. Go for it. You know, some people go for the wrong reason, but if you're going for the right reason, please go for it. If there's volunteering, I would honestly, if you're studying, go and volunteer, because here voluntary work is not like back home whereby you think, well, I will just go today and not go tomorrow. It's a job, but you're not paid, but it's a job. You have to be there. You have to be on time. You have
to be there.
Literally, you treat it as a job, and you have to expect it as a job. It helps train you. So you get the training that you could have missed. Those who have done internships, if you have the possibility of doing internships, go and do the internships. If you're in your career already or planning to switch careers, nowadays there are so many organizations you can find on LinkedIn. There's Roots Inspire. There's a lot of different organizations that actually have mentorship, have reverse mentoring as well. So you have mentorship whereby you're mentored by a senior level, but there's also reverse mentorship where you guide someone from a senior level into looking at what the younger, the mid-level or lower level can be. I think it's really, I would say, don't be afraid to walk into those doors. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, so be it. It's not the end of the day. It's really not the end of the day. Just go out there, introduce yourself. I know some people also feel like they're not in that space or they shouldn't be. We, I mean, as colored women, we deserve to be in these spaces, and we have every single right to be in the same spaces as anybody else. Whether it's men, women, it doesn't matter. We deserve to be in those spaces. Just be your authentic self,
Most definitely. Wow, this is good. It's I really love what you're talking about, uh, networking there. But thinking about the Dutch directness,
Oop.
and then being Ugandan, how did you navigate networking in the Netherlands with their very direct way of doing things? What was your secret to building rapport with these people in corporate cultures, if I could say it like
I think Dutch people can be direct, but bring your humbleness.
that?
Stay humble. So
Yeah,
even if you're direct, stay humble. All right. So if you go into a networking event or if you're meeting Dutch people, whether at work or not, and you're busy wanting to show off and prove them wrong, you are completely you will get the X almost like you're not friendly, you're not this, you're not that.
yeah,
Be humble,
yeah,
listen.
yeah,
I think that's something I used to struggle, and sometimes I do still because one of my strengths is winning people over, but the weakness to that strength, if you've done a study about it, the weakness to that strength is that we tend to talk a lot and
yeah,
then we forget to listen.
yeah,
So I think honestly, just be yourself. Do not, there's nothing wrong. You are unique, right? Go in there, stay humble, listen, listen and learn, and then react, right?
yeah,
Take the time to listen to somebody, then react. And then see how you take every conversation forward. Some people will not be easy, some
yeah,
people will be easy. So I think whatever happens, what have you got to lose?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and then, wow, this is good. This is good. Thank you so much. And Molin Cares says, very nice conversations. Being your authentic self helps a lot. Thank you so much, Molin Cares. We appreciate your engagement. And anybody else, if you have a comment or question on the conversation, just put it in the comment section wherever you're watching us from, and we'll be able to bring it into the studio. I know, uh, Fatuma, that women empowerment is really important to you. Being at the level and the place, the stage that you are in life right now, there's many women who are looking up to you. Some young, some maybe even your age, and they feel like there's been limitations to what they could be able to achieve. If I may ask, what's your biggest, in your opinion, what do you think is the biggest hurdle that you see women, specifically of color from the diaspora, or women in the diaspora that are facing today in accessing opportunities when it relates to leadership and being in the places that where decisions are made in an organization?
I think first to those women and to also my daughter in the future is to tell them you are not lucky to be in that room. You are exactly in the right room and where you need to be. Right. So I would say it's not just about, people will say, yeah, it's luck. I don't think it's luck. I think it's hard work, it's determination, it's dedication. And I think for me, the biggest hurdle I see in colored women, and I know I faced it myself, is feeling like we don't deserve to be where we are. We don't appreciate our own journey or our own path. We
Yeah,
don't believe in our own, ourselves, and then you keep comparing yourself to somebody else. Please do not compare yourself to somebody else.
yeah,
Aim to be a better version of yourself tomorrow and the day after. So the only competition is you. There is no other competition in the room,
yeah,
right? So you are the only competition. So today, if you did not do well, aim to be better tomorrow, right? Do better. It's only you. Do not look at everybody else. There is Also maybe because of the faith, being a Muslim,
Yeah.
you believe that um, there's plenty of space, right? You see it also, let's say in Uganda, you would find, or you go to a street and everybody in that section, like my parents, they all sell secondhand clothing. It's like 3 or 4 malls full of
Yeah.
secondhand clothing, but guess what? They're able to still afford bread on the table. They're
Yeah.
able to do that. So there is space for every single person,
Yeah.
you know. You just really need to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Again, even if like people who are also looking for jobs, I see it now currently. A lot of people, given the economy, people are out there trying to find jobs. And I know that it's very difficult given the economy. Do not give up.
Yeah.
Do not give up. And also, when you're working, if they're going to replace you, you have to believe it will take 3 people to do your job. That's how I feel about myself. I feel like I am good enough to be where I am. I have worked hard to be
Yeah.
in that space and I keep working hard.
Yeah.
But if they're going to choose to replace me tomorrow, they probably need 3 people to do my job.
Wow.
That is what I believe. It's believing in yourself and still stay humble, still
Yeah.
deliver. No one wants someone who says, I can do this, and not deliver. Please deliver. If you've committed yourself to an appointment, be there on time. If you've committed yourself to do something, show up. Show
Yeah.
up authentically.
Yeah.
Show up as you. There is no other, I don't know, Molin, or there is no other Kenneth, there is no other Yvette, there is only that one Kenneth, right? There is only,
Yeah.
like, there is no other Fatuma like me. I have to believe I am the only Fatuma. Everybody else is taken.
Yeah.
So
And
I
then,
have to be me wherever I go. And I think that's just be yourself wherever you go, you know?
this is very powerful indeed.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
Yvette says, "Congratulations, your story is very inspiring." Go on.
I was just going to say the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
You have earned your seat. You have worked for it.
Yeah.
Don't let that imposter syndrome take over. Please don't.
And then,
It's really your greatest qualification, who you are, your background.
and then, and Edward asks, "Is switching companies more advantageous than staying at one, or does the size of the company matter in career growth?"
I think it's it. I I don't think it's necessarily about switching companies, right? I think it's about, are you enjoying what you're doing currently? Right? So I think sometimes we're so rushed into, I want to be at this level at this time, and actually forget to take the step to enjoy. We
Yeah.
spend, I mean, if you're working, you easily spend 8, maybe 12 hours in some cases, like in some of our roles, whereby you work longer than you
Yeah.
should, and you need to enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying it and busy focused on what's next, you're going to miss the moment. So I think take your time, pace yourself. Are you enjoying the role? Do you want to grow? Are
Yeah.
you bored? I mean, also, if you're completely doing a role and you hate it, and in the morning you basically are dragging yourself out
Yeah.
of bed, it's time to change.
It's time to
Whether you
check.
change into another role within the company, because
Yeah.
most corporations give you that opportunity,
Yeah.
or you go external,
Yeah.
right? So I have been very fortunate that since I started working in the Netherlands after my university, I've been in one company. But that one company, I've not been a regional marketing manager all through, right? So I started as an assistant in marketing comms. I
Yeah.
then grew into a digital comms specialist, so did a lot of campaigns and a lot of different things. And
Yeah.
then I moved into a different business unit. So I got bored of that business unit, or I felt like I wasn't learning. I
Yeah.
needed to evolve, and I started getting bored. I am a busybody naturally. I like to do multiple things at the same time. That's just who I am.
I
So
can relate to that.
if it's boring, I'm gonna move,
Yeah.
right? But I did not move external. I stayed within the company, and I started using my network into finding out, do you know about anything that's coming? you
Yeah.
also have to put your hand up. If you don't put your hand up, no one is going to help you,
No one
right?
is
So
going to help you.
you
Yeah.
need to use your network. You need to put your hand up. You need to have those tough conversations with your manager of what's next. I also think don't find your manager at a coffee shop or coffee corner and start having these conversations.
Yeah.
Plan it in. Send her an email or
Yeah.
he, and basically be clear. I want to talk about this and this and this. When
Yeah.
is the right time? Set the time, prepare, and go and have that tough conversation saying, well, I've been doing this for a while and now I feel like I need to evolve. Is there something for me? And if not, do you know anything within the company?
Yeah.
And really use your network. So don't just put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Spread yourself, and then something will come up. So for me, that's exactly what I did. And then I moved I started in automotive and specialty coatings business. I then moved into a powder coatings business, even if
Yeah.
it's coatings, completely different ballgame. So it took me another 3 to 4 years in that business to learn, to feel like now I'm ready for another change. And
Yeah.
now I'm in the yacht coatings business. It's a completely different ballgame. And I've been in this role now for 3 years, but I'm still having fun.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean that I've stopped learning, right? I also keep an eye out, seeing what could be, is there something else for me? So I think strive to get what you want. And I think to Edward's question, it's not necessarily just, it could be. I think you hear it quite a lot from multiple people that if you move businesses, you probably will negotiate a better salary. Could
Yeah.
be, but it's not necessarily just about salary, right? It's also about your responsibility. It's about the fun you have. It's around the people you're surrounded with. So evaluate all of those things before you make the decision to move. And it's okay to be in a role 3 4 years. And I think I had once one of our directors, she's a lady, and I was having this conversation with her as well. And she basically said, the advice I can give you is before you move to the next role, make sure you put your mark in your previous role. So you have done something that people will recognize
Yeah.
and say, she
Fatuma
moved
was
on,
here.
but
Yeah.
she did this,
Yeah.
right? Don't be these people who are going into a role and basically surviving through the role. I
Yeah.
don't think someone who is surviving through the role can actually climb a corporate ladder.
Yeah.
You have to make your impact. You have to be seen. You have to be heard. You have to make sure your presence is felt, that when you're not around, people will recognize
Yeah.
the impact you bring to the table.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. This is powerful. You reminded me of something somebody say, if your presence is not felt, your absence will not be noticed. And there's another interesting question from Yvette. How do you ensure that your team continues to develop professionally? And what role does mentorship play in your management style?
You need, I think if you're working with a team, managing a team, you have to be able to wish, you have to not, like, you shouldn't be selfish. Every
Yeah.
great leader who has led wonderful teams has not been selfish.
Yeah.
If you were selfish and not thinking about these people and what's next for them professionally, then you're doomed completely, because then you're going to suffocate people as a leader, and people are going to be miserable. And to be honest, they make everything. It's the people in the companies that run the companies. It's not the company that runs the people. So it's really the people in it that really run the companies. So Yvette, when looking at the teams, is really having those conversations with them whereby you want to understand what they want. You have to guide them. As a leader, your role is to guide them, to maybe ask them the questions they never thought
Yeah.
of themselves, to help them kind of move to the next level and connect them. If they want something that you cannot give, let them connect them to somebody or something that they are looking for, because you know what, somebody else will come who will also bring something else to your team, right? So people move on, and yeah, you just have to give them the space to grow.
Indeed. Amazing. Thank you so very much. This is wonderful. I'm loving it, and there's so much value in it. I know that our viewers and even the people who will watch it later will benefit from it greatly. Um, I want to switch it up a bit and talk about having the right partner, because I think it's important for us to put this, to find a place for it as far as this conversation is concerned. You have reached a very high level of career success right now. If you could just reflect on where you are and the journey you've been on, how important is it for the choice of life partner that you have as a career woman? And what is it that, for maybe there's a young lady who's ambitious about being a career person,
Mm.
what should they look for in a teammate to be able to get to where they want to go?
Personally, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but I actually think this is the most important decision you can make in your life.
Yeah,
You can change your careers, you can change all of these things, and some people also change partners, right? Don't get me wrong, it's people also
that's a
change
topic
partners.
for another day.
It's a topic for another day. But the person you choose to build your life with will either lift your ceiling or will break it,
Ooh,
right? You need to find the person who is your biggest cheerleader,
yeah,
who will want nothing more than to see you succeed, and who will also put the work in to help you,
yeah,
right? I think as women, we struggle so much because most of the time your career is picking up is also the same time your biological clock is ticking. So for women who want to have kids, right? Some people don't want, it's a different story. But I, for example, wanted to have kids, and that was one of the most important fundamental values I had, that I really want to have a family. And your career is picking up, and you also need to have a child,
yeah,
right? If you don't have the right partner to help you,
yeah,
you will easily go through a burnout. You will
yeah,
easily break, because we're not superhumans, right?
yeah,
We do quite a lot as women, and but we're not super, that we're not unbreak, like we break as well, right? So it's finding the right person. I think you really need to find a person who is your friend,
yeah,
someone you can honestly have a tough conversation, someone who can motivate you, who can push you and challenge you as well. And I think in any relationship, you need to grow. I mean, if you are growing and that person is not growing, you probably stop having those conversations, and then the interest is lost, and then everything is downhill. So, how
yeah,
do you motivate each other to be better every single day? And to be honest, I really think, for don't rush into marriages because everyone around you is getting married. That's really not how it works. Marriage is not a bed of roses. Marriage is not easy. It takes a lot of work, and you need to have the right person who will be able to have those tough conversations with you. When shit hits the fence, you need someone who will be there,
yeah.
you know.
And then
So
somebody
yeah.
said it like this, that if you choose the right partner in life, you're complete. But if you choose the wrong partner in life, you're completely finished.
Yeah, absolutely, Kenneth. Absolutely, because you know what? Not every day will be flowers and all of these things. Life is going to get hard. You're gonna have challenges, whether at home, whether at work.
Yeah,
Uh, it doesn't matter. You really need to have the right person.
yeah,
And for those who are still in their dating lives as well, the one thing I remember, and it should be easy.
yeah,
If something is complicated and difficult when you're dating, it's
Yeah.
going to be 20 times worse when you're married. So it
Yeah.
really should be easy. Do not
Sometimes we think we
complicate.
can change people.
You can't. You cannot change a person. You can change how you react to things,
Yeah.
but you can never change a person. That's just how it is. You
Mhm.
can't change someone who's not willing to change.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Yeah.
So if you're dating and you see the red flags, take them for what they are.
Trust your gut
Don't
feeling.
justify them and try to sugarcoat it. When someone shows you who they really are, if they show you their true colors, believe them. Wow.
Absolutely. Trust your gut feeling, your inner voice. And this inner voice, it's in a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You have to learn to listen to it. And I think a lot of people, if I listen to podcasts of mature women, or like Michelle Obama and Amy Grande, or you really, for them, it's like, listen to that voice that's really silent, that's in there, but you know it. Listen to it, because that voice will pop up, and it was right. So
Yeah.
whether it's a career move,
Yeah.
whether it's a job that you've gone through, trust that inner voice. That it's there. We just choose not to, yeah, trust it.
Yeah.
So
Wow, this is good. This is good, Fatuma. Thank you so very much. Um, this one, I want you to just do some reflection, and this is to just help someone who is where you are in 2009. So, if you could just go back and have a face to face with Fatuma that just landed at Düsseldorf in 2009 for the first time landing in Europe, 18 years old, what one piece of advice would you give her?
I think that, like I've mentioned a couple of different things, right, earlier on, a lot of stuff, like to help you, right? To help you, like, prepare, be authentic, take the step, learn, and all of these things, right? But for me, I think when I'm down, it's have compassion for yourself.
Yeah,
Really, it's not easy. There are days that it's going to be great, and there are days that it's going to be really tough. Understand that, sometimes a lot of things won't work the way you want, or you could even feel like a crappy mom. Like, sometimes I feel like a really, really, either a crappy employee, sometimes a crappy wife, sometimes a crappy mom, mainly because I've also fully now have come to believe that you can have it all, but not at the same time.
yeah,
So you can have a career, you can have the family, you can have the marriage, but not at the same time. Not everything will be great at the same time. There are days you're going to fall short, and unfortunately, your partner might be the most affected,
yeah,
or your children in some cases, um, or even your employment, right? So you need to have compassion for yourself. Um, yeah, and just be able to say, it's okay, I didn't get it right
yeah,
this time, but I will try to be better the next time. And that's it. And you learn to find coping mechanism, right? You really have to find ways to cope. Like, I would give an example. For example, Kenneth, last year, around the year before, 2024, my role is busy and it's more seasonal. So around this time it gets a bit calm. It's
yeah,
the boating season, right? Everybody, when they're in the water or not in the water, so everything kind of picks up. And around November, let's say from September, October, November, December, it's the craziest period for me personally. My weekends are taken over. My weekdays are super busy. We have boat shows. We have a lot of different things. But that also means I am going to decline as a mom. I am not going to be the best mother.
yeah.
That also means I will probably be late for pickup.
Hmm.
I will probably not attend my son's
Football.
event at school
Yeah,
or football,
yeah,
and I used to beat myself up about
yeah,
it, like literally, and I would sit there and I would, just because I wanted to be in all these spaces, but my body sometimes could not take it, or
yeah,
sometimes I had to fly and travel for work. um, Something I know I'm very fortunate to
yeah,
have. I get the opportunity to travel in multiple countries, right, because of my
yeah,
job. But you feel like you're really crappy. Have compassion on yourself. You're human,
yeah,
it's okay, and your kids will understand, and take the time that when you're actually there, you're really present. So what I also do is, when I'm with my kids, I am fully present, right? So that's something I used not to do. And nowadays, I try so much that when I'm around my children, I am fully present. When they
yeah,
have holidays, I am taking time off as well, intentionally. And I'm doing activities with them, because that's what they're going to remember. They're not going to remember the nice things you bought them, it's the moments that you spent with them. I intentionally know that I'll probably miss dinner, which I hate doing, but
yeah,
sometimes maybe the train did not work. Maybe I had
exactly.
a meeting and I ran late. But guess what? I will aim for bedtime story. So
Yeah,
if I miss dinner, I'm gonna aim for bedtime story, taking 15 minutes and actually read a story. So you find coping mechanisms
yeah.
that actually helps in a busy role.
And then,
So
wow, this is good. This is good. Thank you so very much. It's very helpful because sometimes when you're busy doing a lot of things and you miss out on one thing, it may be, may feel like, yeah, because you have missed out on that, maybe you're not you're not a good parent or a good partner, but that you can make it up, I think is really, uh, yeah, important because I mean, we live life in doses, and if, for example, like what you mentioned during your peak season, that you may not be fully available, that okay, I'll have time off for a holiday at this point and just be able to really disconnect from work and be present for the family. And I think that's really powerful. uh, there's a question from Edward, uh, talking about, with all the AI news and layoffs, what tips do you give to those who aren't managers? He says, I would assume you've had opportunities to hire people, but you've also maybe have fired some people in your role. So for those who are not managers, is there some advice that you would give also?
I think, I mean, everyone freaks out about AI. I did too, but I think you need to look at AI as a torch to point you in the right direction, a torch to help you amplify whatever you're doing to make it better. That basically means go out there, do courses. Google has multiple courses on AI that are free of charge. LinkedIn has different short programs on AI that are really free. Do not freak out, but embrace it, because it's here to stay. It is not going to change.
Yeah,
Companies have introduced chatbots and all of these things. It's all AI generated.
yeah,
So, how do you use AI to your benefit so you can stand up and make sure that you're not easily replaceable?
yeah,
Right? So, it goes into investing in yourself, invest in knowledge. There's nothing more powerful than knowledge. Invest in knowledge, and also, um, I think it's just, yeah, if you're afraid,
yeah,
it's not, yeah, I stop being afraid. I think really just be there. And like I said, if today you applied for a role or you were let go, it's heartbreaking. I
yeah,
know, because I have friends in my circle who have been let go. It's tough,
yeah,
but it's not the end of the day. So go out there, see, improve, keep applying until one door will open. Do all the things that you need to do. There's a lot of podcasts on what you can do to get a job and how to stay motivated. I know job hunting can really, really destroy someone's your pride, your confidence, it really can hit you so far. But surround yourself with positivity. And if you're down today, pick yourself up tomorrow. Look at ways to still advance. And like some people would apply for a job, try new tricks, right? They would apply for a job, they've lost a job, they apply for a job and they've sent their CV. But guess what? Whoever is hiring has had AI filter through the CVs. So how does your CV stand out
Yeah,
against other people? So you can use AI to help your CV also stand out, right? That's one. Then
exactly.
also, how do you stand out against all the competition, against everybody else that's actually applying for the same role?
Yeah,
So you need to, I don't know if it means calling, if it means the volunteer work that you've done, if it means networking, you need to take the extra, like the next step. Don't just sit and think, yeah, this is going to work. And in some cases also, I think one thing I learned as well in this society, I used to think this was only Uganda. It was very common in Uganda, whereby it was that it's the people you know.
yeah,
I used to think in the Netherlands, it actually doesn't work that way. You can just apply for a job and then you can get through, not in a corporate world. I kid you not, it's the people you know.
yeah.
So network, get out there and make sure you're networking with the right people, but also you're leaving a good reputation. Don't go around being someone who leaves very bad reputation, because no one is gonna ever recommend you or anything like that. So I think you have to try everything, and don't be afraid. Honestly, I know it's tough. It's really tough, because I have friends who have been job hunting now for 6, 7 months.
Yeah.
There's nothing, but
Yeah.
don't give up. Do not give up. Just keep going. Try different ways. Try different techniques. And I also know people who have changed careers. Right? It's also never too late. You know, people who have moved from, I don't know, accounting to supply chain, or people who have moved from being a doctor, like Dr. Molin, that I know personally, into
Yeah.
now running her own kitchen.
Yeah.
It's never too late. We only have one life to live, and there's just endless possibilities
Yeah.
for you to make it. So if you're in a field that's not working and you have a different passion, try something else. You never know.
Amazing. Wow. This is good. I mean, right now, I just want to take a moment to just acknowledge you for the journey that you've been on, for the work that you have done, for the sacrifices that you've made, for the power of your example. I mean, you being where you are showing so many other young women, young girls, that it is possible by the power of your example, that if you can do it, they can do it too. And maybe sometimes that's what's been missing. That sometimes the little girl wants to dream. They want to see themselves successful, but they're struggling because they don't have an example to look up to. So thank you for doing this so powerfully. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the sacrifice that you've made and the work that you've done as far as this is concerned.
Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you. It's not been easy, but I am grateful.
You're welcome. And if there's a mother maybe who's watching this and they have a daughter who is, they feel like the daughter is not getting the support that they need to position themselves for a career, because maybe for the mother is a cleaner, or they don't have the qualifications that you have, but they would want something better for their daughter. Is there an opportunity for someone to reach out to you for mentorship and to just maybe continue this conversation with you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got my career through mentorship. I had the right people, and I still go through mentorship up to today. And I don't have one mentor, I have multiple mentors because they all bring a different perspective to things that I go through. So if anybody wants to reach out, they can reach out to me. My email is fatumamunir@hotmail.com, or they can reach out to me through LinkedIn. I'm happy to mentor anyone, to guide anyone, or to even have a conversation or a coffee, whatever one can do, It's about sharing. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Fatuma. This was very inspiring. Is there any final remarks that you would like to share with our viewers?
I think before I close, for me, it's you don't need permission to dream. So your dreams are not too big. You really never did need any permission, right? You don't need permission. You never did. Your dreams are not too big, and everything you've been through, every single door, every closed door that you've been through, every no, every sacrifice was not wasted. It was really preparing you for what's to come, preparing you for what's better. Keep going. Again, be authentic, bring your uniqueness. You are the only one around. There is no other person as you. Even if you were born as twins, you're completely two different people. So bring your uniqueness wherever you go, and dare, just dare to try new things and dare to speak to new people. And it might not be easy, but you have nothing to lose.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. This is very powerful. Thank you so very much. I just want to pack it right there. We are 85 minutes. And I just want to say thank you so much, Fatuma, for making time for this. It's been very valuable. It's been very inspiring and very thought provoking as well. So thank you for sharing your journey with us. And I mean, I know you're going to be contacted because the need for mentors within the community is huge, and that is why the Career Advancement Network partnered with the Ugandan community in the Netherlands to be doing this, to be able to bring more of what is happening within the community to visibility so that people can know what's happening and who is doing what so that we can help one another. And I just don't want to take it further than this. I just want to say thank you so much, and I appreciate your time, your availability on a busy day like this. Ramadan, I know, is on, and you're hosting some guests this evening. So have a wonderful iftar, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you. Anybody that reaches out, please share my details with them. No problem.
Most definitely.
Right. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for joining and for all the questions.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow. Thank you so much, our viewers and listeners. That was Fatuma Munir, and have a good evening and God bless.